I don't like the way this looks. I'm on here though. Hang on 1 second, family. Let me get this straight. I wish I could move this out the way. Edit. You can edit stuff in here. So let me get rid of this here. No, don't want to do that. All right. I can't see nothing I'm trying to see on here. But I'm on here though. I done figured that part out at least. How to at least make sure I get on. I can get on the stream that I share on my news feed. I done figured that one out. All right. Let me pull this up here. All right. Turn the volume down on here. Oh, I shouldn't do that. What's going on, family? If you're in here, drop in the chat. Say something. Say something. Greg, oh, what's going on here? Say something. Let me know you're here. There we go. There we go. All right. I'm just posting something. I'm just posting something in the chat. That's all. That's all. Hope y'all doing all right this evening. What's going on, G? Ready? How you doing, brother? Hope all is. I see. Well, excuse me. I was about to say hope all is well with you, but you telling me all is well with you. That's good. That's what's up. That's what's up. All right. So we give it a few minutes before we really get into what we want to discuss, what we want to chop it up about this evening. Let me grab me an ink pen from over here. All right. All right. Cool beans. Click the like button when you come in and drop in the chat and say something. Say hello. Like, talk to me. Let me know. I want to know. I'm gonna start with you, G. Ready? you in here right now with me? You in the chat with me? What? Why'd you come in tonight? Why'd you come into the live stream tonight? Did you just open up your YouTube feed and this live stream was on there and it's like, oh, well, let's hop on, or like, why'd you come on? Tell me that if you don't mind, briefly. I'll wait for you. If you can hear the sound of my voice right now, let me know. Talk to me, family. This live stream right here, we're gonna get into what new people need, what people need in this profession, in this industry, what new people need in this profession. But like I think I got an idea. I've been around trucking long enough. But this live stream tonight is about you guys telling, like, let me know what you're dealing with. If you're new here and you're on the live stream, like, this is a place tonight for you to share with me what, generally speaking, I guess you could say, what you feel like you might have been missing when you were a new person, or what you feel like might be missing from the training of new people. And same thing if you're a senior person, if you're a veteran driver, right? Like from your perspective, what do you think is missing from like, what do you think is missing as far as new drivers go, as far as getting new drivers acclimated to the industry? We're gonna get into that a little bit more, but that's what we're gonna get into. That's what we're gonna be discussing tonight. I'm gonna pull back the curtains a little bit and show you guys. I don't want to spoil it, right? But I'm gonna share a little bit about the framework that my new driver blueprint is built on. And yeah, and I kind of want to see basically if the foundation that I've got, what I'm building, built on, I want to know if I got it dialed in or not. I'm trying to validate whether I got it dialed in or not. I'm trying to validate whether it matches. I've been around trucking long enough that I got my own perspective on things, but I feel like I'd be a fool to not come on and talk to other truck drivers about a product that I'm creating for truck drivers. Like, that would be stupid not to do that, right? So that's what I want to know from you guys tonight as we go through this live stream. That's the type of stuff I'm gonna want to know from you guys tonight, from a new person's perspective, and from a veteran perspective. Talking about new people, generally speaking, but what a new driver needs that's not out there, that's not being addressed right now. That's what we're talking about. So yeah, G Ready, again, I appreciate you being here, brother. G Ready, he says, you say you clicked the notification, but I'm one. Okay, boom. I'm about to read your next comment down here now, G Ready. I started following your, why is this on the screen for? Get that out of the way. I started following your channel a couple months back because I like what you had to say and find your videos intelligent and informative. I appreciate you sharing your experience as a rookie coming up. I got you. How long you been in the profession? Oh, excuse me, driving, G Ready, if you don't mind me asking you. Just chopping it up with you right now for a little bit. How long you been driving? Skull Rider Trucker, one of the top dogs in trucking. Been following you for quite a while. I appreciate that, man, because I don't ever remember. Your name doesn't look familiar at all, Skull Rider Trucker. So yeah, I appreciate you following me. Like a lot of the people that have been following my content, for a while now, like I recognize their names when it shows up in the comments. I don't think I've ever seen your name before, but I appreciate you being here. I most certainly do. And I appreciate you coming into the live stream. Here's what I want to know from you guys. If you're in here, like, let me know, like, drop this in the chat. I want to know what made you come on to the live stream tonight. Feel free to be honest with me, right? Feel free to be blunt with me. If you just came on just because you saw the live stream pop up on your notification or pop up in your news feed. I meant to say, like you just opened up YouTube and you just saw it popped up. Hey, let me hop on with the helpful trucker. If that's the case, that's fine, right? But I guess what I'm wondering, let me be specific because it's not like we're doing two-way conversation. What I'm actually wondering is, was there something that the title of this live stream or the description of this live stream or the thumbnail text that was on the thumbnail, was there anything about that that drew you to this live stream? That is specifically what I'm asking you guys, G Ready and Skull Rider, Trucker, and anybody else that wants to answer that question. What made you come on to this live stream tonight? What about, what again, was it the title? Was it the subject matter, what we're going to get into? Or was it just, hey, I just opened up YouTube and you were on? Feel free to be blunt with me and let me know. Let me know, because I want to know why you guys are here. Again, this tonight is about dialing in the needs of new truck drivers. That's what this is about tonight. Okay. I'm waiting on you guys' comments in the chat. I'm waiting on you. If you're here checking me out, checking us out tonight, if you're here hanging out on the live stream, let us know. Let me know you're here, right? Like, I can't see who's here. I just see how many people are in here right now. So if you're here, make yourself known, because I don't know you here. You're just a number on my screen right now. So definitely drop in the chat and let me know that you're here, right? Got you, RH7343. I appreciate your comment. RH7343 says, I'm struggling to find a job with my CDL, and I thought the description maybe included me in helping me out. I appreciate you putting that in there and letting me know that. Yeah, RH7343. Yeah, maybe I'll say something, or maybe something will come up in the chat that will help you out, because that does happen a lot of the times on these live streams. Something comes up in the chat that helps somebody out. So definitely, yeah, I definitely have said, plenty of times that my audience here on the Helpful Trucker channel is the most helpful audience on YouTube. Like, I like to help and be useful, but I got a lot of people in my audience that hopefully will be, in the live stream tonight, that are extremely helpful as well, right? So Melamoto, what's going on? I am the father. I enjoy your videos and you give great advice, and I'm new driving, trying to figure should I go local, regional, or OTR? Well, okay. All right, I got you. Skull Rider Trucker, LOL. Yeah, I don't interact too much as far as commenting, just watching and listening while driving. Got you. So if you're driving, please. Yeah. I hope you're not driving. You don't left a couple of comments in here already, so I'm gonna assume you're not driving. But if you are, definitely don't be in the comments, brother. You stay safe out there, man. G Ready says, I'm still in school, graduate in May. I clicked because I'm trying to soak up as much as I can before I start my career. I've watched a lot of videos, but I'm really into your content. G Ready, I appreciate you. I appreciate that. Hmm. Skull Rider says one of the first videos of mine he saw was why drivers nose in. Got you. I appreciate that, Skull Rider. I appreciate that. Did you tell me yet, Skull Rider, how long I'm looking back over your comments now. How long Let me know as well, guys. Let me know as well as you're in here. I'm wondering, like, who's pre-CDL, still in school, basically. Um, who's uh brand new? Well, we'll just say in between, like you finish school and you're all the way up to say 6 months driving, right? And then like who's over 6 months driving? So like even if you're out of school and you haven't found a job yet, um, like that would fit in the second category. After finishing CDL school all the way up to 3 months, and you haven't finished CDL school yet, or you're about to go to CDL school or whatever, we'll call that pre-CDL school. And then I'm gonna call anybody, for the sake of tonight, I'm gonna call anybody that's um over 3 months, right? Like the third category, basically, right? That's what we'll do. So let me know. I want to know where you guys fit in at. If I guess if you want to, you can just like pre-CDL will be one. You already got your CDL up to, I said 3 months before, but I'm gonna say 6 months. You got your CDL all the way up to 6 months you've been driving. That's two. And if you're 6 months in or more, that's three. Do me a favor, put that in the chat and let me know where you guys are. I want to know that. Put in a one, a two, or a three. One for pre-CDL, two for you got your CDL all the way up to you've been driving for 6 months. That includes people that may not have even gotten their first job yet. And then after 6 months, you put in a three. All right. Let me know. Let me know where you guys are. New Life says they clicked in to gain more info, stay informed, and stay updated. That's good. G Ready hit the notification yesterday. Got it. Melamoto, your channel has helped me a lot on giving me insight, looking to get my CDL, but don't plan on using it for trucking, more so for the trades. Got you. Skull Rider, you asking me what kind of truck do I drive? International 9400. I guess that's what you're asking me. Melamoto, saving up for a down payment on CDL school, zero interest. Got you. I see your comment, OG Vic. What's going on, HGSQU? New Life got two weeks to go in school. I see two twos in here. That's good. You're not driving, Skull Rider. Got it. Okay, so you've been driving for a while then, Skull Rider. Beautiful. That's good. That's good. So you're a three, definitely then. All right, family, we about to get into stuff here a little bit. Well, again, I guess y'all expected me to share some stuff, but again, this live stream is it's really kind of more or less about you guys sharing stuff. I'm gonna put the phone down for a little bit, and I'll get back to that in just a second. Okay? Yeah, this live stream is kind of more or less about you guys sharing stuff. Here's where I want to start at tonight because I'm trying not to stretch this out no longer than it needs to be. I always plan on a certain amount of time on the lives, and I end up getting on here, and I enjoy interacting with you guys. It would be good uh if we could do more interaction, right? Like if I get on these and I do them through Zoom, if I get on through Zoom, then people can actually come in the Zoom room with me. And that way we can actually like we can, not that we won't see each other, but we can see each other and we could talk to each other too. Like I can hear you guys. We won't just be commenting back and forth in the chats. I think about that. I think about doing that because I mean I got a Zoom plan. So yeah, but that would be more interactive. But yeah, I get on here and I plan on being on here a certain amount of time, and I enjoy going back and forth with you guys, and I always end up going over. So anyway, so here is I want to start here. Here's what I'm gonna share, what I am willing to share with you guys about the new driver blueprint that I've been working on for the past few months, basically. You may hear me refer to it as orientation, because basically that is the space, if you will, that it fits in. Okay. Now here's what I'm gonna share with you about it. Again, I'm gonna share a few things about it, but I got to be careful because it's not time to reveal it yet. Okay. But I want to tell you why I want to start there, where it came from, where the idea came from. Right. So I will let you know I'm not just building this for truck drivers. I didn't just build this for truck drivers. I didn't just build it for you guys, for the newbies. It is a product targeted at I would say, well, not I would say, it's targeted at 1 year or less in trucking, pre-CDL all the way up to 1 year or less. There's things in there that can help veteran people as well, absolutely. But it's targeted at, like I said, pre-CDL. You're thinking about, when I want to say thinking about, but you're getting in trucking. Maybe you haven't started CDL school yet, or you're already in CDL school, you haven't finished yet, or you're out of CDL school, you haven't started working yet, or you're out of CDL school, you started working yet, you just got your feet wet, but like you're still in that first year range. That is the people that it's, or the group, the avatar that it's focused on helping, right? So one thing I saw on the truck driver side, right? Like I've been a truck driver for 10 years. I've been driving. I've been an owner operator for 5 years, and my father was a career truck driver. My brother's a truck driver. My uncles are truck drivers. My cousins are truck drivers. I got so many people in my family that are truck drivers. I know the neighborhood. I've been around the environment my whole life. Okay, so being a like when I got started on YouTube 10 years ago, 12 years ago, something like that, and I started creating content for truckers, right? Like you got to know that I get, I'm hearing from a lot of the people. I'm hearing from a lot of mainly new truck drivers, but not just new truck drivers, but mainly new truck drivers, like asking questions. And I hear, you guys don't know the questions I get, but I hear the same questions over and over and over again. I hear the same questions over and over and over and over and over again. All right. So which tells me something, which tells me, here's what it tells me. It tells me that there's a lot of people that are getting confused with the same issues. So like looking out for patterns, identifying what's repeated and what continues to show up, right? So I also know that one of the main reasons brand new people burn out in this profession so quickly, and I don't want to talk about this like it's an overwhelming phenomenon. Like you guys are in trucking, you guys are here, you guys made it through. I don't want to make it sound like nobody makes it through, because that's not true. But you can't ignore the fact that the majority, a large majority of new people that come into this profession don't make it through their first year, right? For whatever reasons, a bunch of different reasons, but a large majority of them. Like I think they said like 50%. I think that's the stat. If you know that, drop it in the chat if you've heard that stat before, or if you know the stat. I think it's like 50% of new people that come in this profession don't make it past their first year, right? We've all heard how a lot of the mega carriers, generally speaking, they have like really, really high turnover rates at their companies, particularly with new drivers, right? So like
I know that one of the main reasons or one of the main things that happens in trucking is, and this isn't just with new people, this is one of those things that it mainly affects new people, but it affects veterans as well. And this is kind of what I was talking about when I was saying there are things in this orientation program, in this blueprint that can absolutely help veterans as well. Lost my train of thought. Give me 1 second. What was I saying? Give me 1 second. I was talking about what I see. The reason I'm doing this. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm sorry. I know exactly the train of thought that I was on. I apologize. Um, um, talking about like the turnover rates, right? And I was gonna go into mismatched expectations. Um, if I had to, again, there's a bunch of different reasons why people come in the profession and don't make it through, and get burnt out before they even get started, right? But if I had to, I want to know what you guys have to say on this. But on this one point, I would, if I to summarize it and to put it all into one bundle, not everything into one bundle, but like a lot of it is mismatched expectations. A lot of it is I expected one thing and I got something else. A lot of it is I just wasn't ready. A lot of it is I just felt like blindsided. Like I just wasn't equipped. I wasn't ready. A lot of it is that. And I say that affects veteran truck drivers as well, because essentially it's the same exact thing. A driver can be a veteran truck driver and go into being an owner operator, being a lease operator, and he could still experience that same feeling of a mismatch of expectations. Like I signed a lease contract and I didn't know what I was getting into. I signed this contract and I wasn't prepared. I didn't know what was all entailed. Like I've heard plenty of people talk about that on the lease operator side. So again, this is not targeted at senior people. I'm just making the point that some of what I'm going to talk about tonight, is I'm targeting new people as far as who this product was created for, but you got to know that it's not just about the problem. It's not just about new people. It's not just about that. Again, in trucking, remember earlier I was talking about repeated patterns continually showing up, right? In trucking, there are repeated confusion points. And again, they can trip up new drivers or they can trip up veteran drivers. I'm gonna get into that a little bit more in here in just a few seconds. But like looking around at that, right? Like I see when I have conversations with drivers and I see the comments and I see the emails and the DMs, what I see overwhelmingly is a mismatch of expectations. Again, they just weren't prepared. I'm not gonna say that's the only reason why, but in designing this product, it, it was like, let me pick one problem to fix and let me approach it in a way that most people could find themselves. How can I put this? I can't even put it the right way. That most people could. I wanted to put it in a way that I don't want to say it this way. That most people could find themselves inside of what I'm sharing. Right. So, I guess another way to put it is, I wanted to create it. I wanted to create this blueprint for new drivers systematically. I guess I'm trying to figure out another way to put it. Like I'm trying, like it was built to everything. It's going to be hard to cover everything. It's going to be hard to cover everything in any product that a person puts out. But I wanted to cover a majority of the issues that trip up new drivers. That's exactly the words that I'm looking for. I'm sorry it took me so long to say that, but that's exactly the words I'm looking for. I wanted to take the approach that I'm hitting on a majority of the issues that many new drivers deal with, right? So in doing it that way, I had to take a look. I had a broad, it was about looking at it from a broad perspective. And that kind of leads me into, you know, what I was saying earlier about who I built the product for, right? It didn't make sense in my mind to just build a product for truckers. I wanted to build a product for the industry. It's ridiculous. I wanted to build a product for the industry. I wanted to help the industry fix a problem, right? I knew it made sense to help truckers fix a problem, but I wanted to help the industry fix a problem, right? So the problem of the mismatched expectations, we'll just call it that for the sake of calling it that right now. That's a problem that affects the industry as well. That's a problem I want you guys to understand that doesn't just affect you. It doesn't just affect truck drivers, right? Yeah, the mismatch of expectations makes it hard for a truck driver to get started. And it might cause a truck driver or a potential truck driver to lose money, to lose time. I was planning on working in May, but you know, something happened and I can't start working until November or whatever, right? You know, it makes the driver maybe lose some time or lose some money, but it makes the corporations, it makes the companies, they lose a lot of money because of their lack of ability to be able to hold on to drivers. And I won't say their lack of ability. I won't say that because they drivers don't stay. We'll just say that. I'm not gonna blame it on anybody because drivers don't stay. It costs the driver and it costs the company. It costs both of them. Like that's to their benefit to be able to hold on to a driver. I mean, if you're thinking about it from the perspective of running a business, right? Then it makes sense, right? That okay, if I step back off of this, it makes sense that it's in their best interest to be able to hold on to a driver instead of having to constantly put more money into training a driver and hiring a driver, recruiting a driver, orientating a driver, all of this stuff, right? So it's in their best interest to keep a driver as well. This is I'm talking about right now, like my desire to create this product to solve a problem in the industry in general, right? So kind of thinking about all of that, it's like what could be done to help the mismatch? There are already products on the market, family, or there are already products out in the trucking world that help or that are supposed to help in even that out. Supposed to, there's products already out that are supposed to, I guess you could say, you know, give drivers some clarity as far as what to expect in the profession when they get in. There are already products on the market that do that, or they're supposed to do that. Those are your orientations that are already on the market. Like when you start with a company, that company's going to give you an orientation. The purpose of that orientation is to give you a little bit of a clearer view into not the industry, not the profession, but that company's culture. Same thing for CDL school. You're going to get kind of a bit of an orientation through CDL school, but the orientation you get at CDL school is kind of mainly focused on helping you pass the CDL test and get acclimated to that world. They're going to, you know, shove some stuff in your brain about the rules and the laws and the precedents and the procedures and all of that good stuff. But neither one of those orientations actually allow a driver to get an orientation into the actual industry, right? So drivers, the only way that they're able to get an idea, a sneak peek into the industry, if they're not blessed like me to have a father that was in the profession and family that was in the profession, then the only thing that they can do is rely on online sources, rely on social media. And I mean that works. That can work, but there's no system there. Right? Somebody commented on one of my videos today. I'm transparent. I don't care. They commented on one of my videos today. He said, "OG, you ramble too much." He said, "You got to start giving." He said, "You should, think it over and do it in bullets, and get that straight in your head before you ever go on video." Something like that they were saying in the comments just today. And I'm like, I appreciate the comment. I sincerely do. But I personally think that facts, information with no context is not really beneficial. Right? So here's what I'm talking about right now. I'm talking about if to get acclimated to the industry and to get oriented, if you will, to the industry, a driver is mainly all they can do really is to, like I said, go to social media, go to YouTube, Facebook groups, online forums, truckers report, stuff like that. Like, that's advice with no context. Okay. All of y'all have been here long enough to know that the trucking landscape doesn't stay the same very long. Like, trucking changes every so often. I've done videos that aren't valid anymore. They're outdated, right? And I just did them 2 or 3 or 4 years ago because, things change. The laws change, policies change. And like the industry is always shifting and moving, right? So that type of scattered, if you will, advice that drivers, have to get online. And this is not me criticizing anybody. Please don't take it that way. I'm just saying, like, that advice with no context is not necessarily helpful, right? You looking at anything that I've done in trucking or anything that you think I've done in trucking is totally not applicable to you if you're not doing the same thing that I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like, when I talk about trucking, I'm talking from the perspective of being an in-state owner operator, right? I've never worked at a mega carrier. I've never been out of the state in my truck, right? So, like, obviously I might be talking about trucking a little bit differently than an OTR guy or even just a regional guy, right? I might be talking about trucking differently, and to the untrained ear that's listening to both of us, they may not be able to distinguish. You get what I'm saying? Like, oh, he's saying that because things are different, and the popular belief, I would think, is like, especially from a new person, is they're all trucks. It's all trucks, it's all freight, it's all trailers, right? So so again, like there's no standardized way for drivers to get real clarity on the profession before they come in. Not the type of clarity that's going to help them to get a better understanding of the profession, to the point that I can try to attack the problem or fix the problem that I'm trying to fix, so I can address the problem that I'm trying to address, right? So, like, all of that went into putting this product together, right? I wanted to put something together for the drivers. I wanted to put something together that would help the profession at large, right? Like, if you want to be around, then you need to be adding to what's going on. So I wanted to create something that was going to be helpful, right? It was going to be beneficial, right? So yeah, this fits all of that. But then there's some other parameters or guardrails that I wanted to have in here as well. I'm gonna get into that in 1 second. Let me check the comments real quick because I haven't been paying attention to the comments. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. G ready. It appears that there's a lot of obstacles in the way for new drivers and expectations of jumping in and making top dollar before paying their dues, gaining experience. I see that, G ready. Yeah, those expectations, that mismatched expectations, right? That expectation that new drivers have of coming in and chasing that top dollar while not factoring in the foundation that needs to be laid to be able to earn that. Again, I would say that is a result of that's a result of listening to the noise of the industry. I hope y'all understand what I mean when I say the noise, the chatter. Okay, that's a result of people listening to the noise of the industry, right? And people are hungry out here, man. When they come to this profession, I've said it before, like it's a special person that's coming to this profession. And when they come, again, the industry noise is loud and it's difficult to sift through all of that. And it's difficult to evaluate all of that. And you got a lot of people listening to that. And you got a lot of people like, this is America, the land of the free, the home of the brave. Like, I don't need to know everything. I just point me in the direction. And so people come into trucking with that attitude. Again, nothing wrong with that. I don't make it sound like you're not gonna make it through. You know what I mean? All of you guys made it through, but I'm just saying, like, all of that adds to the confusion. All of that noise adds to the confusion. Okay. And again, there are other orientation products on the market already. Any company that you're gonna get hired with, they have orientation, but we still have this incredible mismatch. We still have this incredible misalignment of expectations when many new people come in this profession, even though the companies are, they're orienting the new people, and the CDL schools are orienting the new people. I guess what I'm saying, what I'm hitting on here is when I look out at all of that, what I saw was the need for the right type of orientation. Now, we're going to talk about this as well. What needs to be in a driver's orientation? What are the things that drivers need that's not getting covered? Because guess what? We're in the information age. And all of the information, for the most part, is out there, family. Right? Like, it's all out there. You got people recording YouTube videos in trucks while they're driving down the road. Like, talk about giving me a view inside the cab of what this industry looks like. You know what I mean? Like, so all of the information is out there. So I wanted one of the parameters that I needed to have on this new driver blueprint, or one of the guardrails, if you will, that I needed to have on this new driver blueprint. I get excited when I'm talking about this, so I'll put my phone down. But I really do get excited when I'm talking about this. But a couple of the parameters that I had down, that I had that this program had to fit into, I named a couple of them for you already. Had to be useful for the drivers. I saw a problem in the industry. I wanted to try to fix that. And I wanted it to be beneficial to the industry as well. Okay. Again, I wanted it to be what I call industry friendly. All right. Those are a few of the parameters. Another one of the parameters, obviously, it's got to be helpful. It's got to be useful. Okay. Another one of the parameters is I wanted it to be unique. I didn't want it to be something that you could just Google. or something that you could just YouTube and pull up on YouTube videos. Now, this part right here is critical. I want to slow down a little bit on this part right here, okay? And this is where I would like to get some feedback from you guys on this part that I'm talking about right here, okay? Because I'm sure the average new person or veteran has their idea of what's needed. But again, I want to see if there's any alignment between, not between what you see and what I see, because we both truckers, we see the same thing. But I got a weird way of looking at things. I have a unique way of looking at things. So I want to see if the way that we're looking at it aligns. I want to see if the way that we're looking at what the industry needs and what new truck drivers need aligns. So I need you guys to hop in the chat and let me know if you can. Like if you're new, what's missing? What's missing from your training? Somebody said in the comments, let me read back through these comments and I'm gonna call out the people that I want to hear a response from. All right, 7343. You posted earlier. I'm struggling to find a job with my CDL, and I thought the description maybe included me in helping me out. So, all right, 7343. What was missing? This was obviously something that you didn't expect. And I don't know all of the specifics on what's going on with why you can't find a job. Here's what I do know. Here, I'm like almost 99. I don't think I have a problem with saying this. I want to make sure though. I don't think I have a problem with saying this. If you got a CDL and you willing, like if you got a CDL, you can find a job. It's, do you want the job that's available to you? That's my perspective of how that works. In my mind, ain't no such thing as I got a CDL and I can't find a job. Just ain't no such thing. You might not be able to find a job that fits you, or that you feel like fits you, or that you feel like fits your parameters, or that you feel like fits inside of your guardrails. So without knowing all of that, RH7343, from your perspective, based on your experience in with this profession, with this industry so far, what was missing? What's missing? Based on where you are right now and based on whatever you went through, right? And don't sugarcoat it, right? Like if it's you that's bringing a bunch of extra BS to the table and that's why you can't find a job, you ain't got to tell us all your business, but don't leave that out of the equation either. Okay, be fair in what you're gonna say, right? So yeah, from your perspective, what is right here? RH7343. Like I came in trucking, and like before I can even get started, I'm dealing with some BS. Was this avoidable? RH7343. Was this avoidable? Just give me a little bit of insight on that. You ain't got to tell me all your business, but answer that question. Was it avoidable? And two, what do you feel was missing? Like what could have been done? I'm just going to leave it right there and let you put it however you want to and let you take it however you want to. What was missing? I'm going to go to somebody. I'm going to call somebody else out if I can. G Ready, you still in school? Is there anything that you feel is missing based on your experience so far? I don't know what y'all's experience is in school. When I was in school, CDL school, I think it was like 4 weeks in until I got my learner's permit. Excuse me, until I got my Yeah, my learner's permit. Exactly. Yes. So it was 4 weeks in before I could actually go out on, actually out on the road, right? But at the same time, it was another guy started class at the same time that I did. Neither one of us had our medical card when we started. I got my medical card like 3 weeks in and passed my learner's permit like 4 weeks in. He couldn't get his medical card. He went like 4 weeks in to get his medical card and couldn't get it. This is after a month in CDL school, right? So it's like, man, what could have been done? What could have been done to prevent that? What could have been done to prevent that? That's the type of stuff I'm talking about. What could have been done to prevent that? We're gonna talk about this, okay? Yeah, we're gonna talk about this. OG Vic, were you expecting it to be hard to find a job, OG Vic? Were you expecting that? Or did that come as a bit of a surprise? I guess that's one of the scenarios. I said a minute ago, if you got a CDL, you can find a job. I guess if you got that's one of the scenarios that might fit into that. If you got a CDL and you got a really, really jacked up driving record or some really bad stuff, yeah, you might have a problem finding a job. That's one of the exceptions. Appreciate your comment, G Ready. I'm reading your comment, brother. YVOI. E-Boy. Appreciate your comment, E-Boy. Yeah. Yeah, G Ready. You definitely need the real world experience. And you need the real world perspective. Now, nothing can replace real world experience. My new driver blueprint is about giving you real world perspective as a new driver. Because again, like certain things can't be done. You can't replace real world experience. Okay. But you can give people a clearer view of the landscape. You can give people a clearer view of the environment. You can give people a clearer view of the obstacles. G Ready. It appears that there is a lot of obstacles in the way for new drivers and expectations of jumping in. Obstacles. You can give drivers a clearer view of the obstacles, basically preparing them more for what they're about to encounter. Let me read through a few more of these comments and I'm gonna get back to what I was saying. Appreciate you being here, Trucker Steve. Trucker Steve says on his survey, most new drivers out of CDL school wanted or expected to get a local driving job. And I'm guessing that didn't happen. I'm guessing that's what you're saying, CDL instructor Steve. Like that's what they was hoping that was going to happen or expecting to happen, but that didn't happen. Is that kind of where you're going to with that one? Q Love, good to see you here tonight, brother. At G Ready, I would like more driving time and less classroom time. I understand that we need to know the rules and regulations, but there's nothing like getting on the road in the truck and driving with an instructor. Yeah, 100%, man, 100%. That's kind of what I meant when I said earlier, the trucking company is going to give you orientation and they're going to orient you to their culture. The CDL school is going to give you orientation, something like an orientation, but that's about getting your CDL. It's not really giving you an orientation into the industry. I mean, let's be real, I'm not throwing CDL schools under the bus at all. They are a business at the end of the day. Their objective is to move people through the chute, right? In America, that gets rewarded. Like let's get these people, let's get as many people as these people as we can passing and moving through the chute. Like that's what it's about with them. It's not really about giving you real world clarity or real world perspective into trucking. That's just that's just not what they do, right? So, but again, I saw a gap right here. I feel like I saw a gap right here. And again, high turnover rates, 50% of people not making it their first year. That was validation to me that there is a gap right here. There is a need for something to help drivers get their expectations aligned and to also, how can I put this? Because that would benefit the driver and it would benefit the industry at large. That's what I was trying to say, right? It's solved, if we can put a dent in one problem, it solves a lot of other issues. So this is what I mean when I say what I'm building here is an industry friendly product. I put a lot of thought into how I wanted to approach it and how I wanted to position it. Okay. Again, I didn't just build it just for drivers. I was thinking a whole lot bigger than that. OG Vic, yes, I expected it to be hard. I only got in a total loss right in school. Got you, brother. Yeah, nah. This CDL schools, they not worried about that, man. Y'all act like they. I don't want to say this the wrong way, but y'all act like they really supposed to care. Y'all act like they really supposed to care. Maybe in a perfect world, not be what they're going to get. Yep. CDL Trucker Steve, CDL instructor. Yes. What the CDL students want may not be what they're going to get. Reason why 80% leaves the industry after 1 year. Yeah. So again, we're talking, I think we're talking similar language when we're talking about misaligned expectations. Okay. You might not have had that, might not have dealt with that. You made it through. But again, we're talking about attacking problems that I can't fix everything, but it's like, okay, like what is the majority of the truck drivers dealing with? A majority of truck drivers is dealing with mismatched expectations and a lack of clarity, a lack of understanding what they're really getting into when they get into profession, what they're really getting into when they get into some of these contracts, right? It's kind of the same thing, right? So now let me give you a little bit, let me pull back the curtain a little bit more, right? So I've let you know kind of why or what went into me building this new driver blueprint. Oh, by the way, you know what? I need to post this. Hang on just 1 second. I gotta post something here. Hang on just 1 second.
I gotta post something in the chat. Hang on just 1 second. Mm. All right. Hang on, bear with me 1 sec, family. Oops. Dang, why I do that? Hang on, family. You just not gonna go to the next line, huh? Okay. All right. Boom. All right. The wait list is open. So as I'm talking about this, I'll make sure this goes up on some of the videos as well, other videos as well. Like, as I'm talking about this, if you decide that like you want to know more about it, you want to know about it when I launch it, you want to make sure you're being notified. Just make sure you add yourself to my wait list. I just now pin the link in the comments here. Just click on the link, go on there, add your email. You'll be added in to my list, and you'll be updated that way. That's the best way for me to stay in touch directly. That's the best way for us to do it, right? Any other way, you might not see the video. YouTube might not let you know that I uploaded a video that's got the link to the launch in it or whatever. Like, just put your email in, and that way when I launch, I can send you an email. Okay, real simple, right? All right, so let's talk about this. Let's talk about patterns. Let's talk about what drivers need, the way that I see it. I want to give it to y'all the way that I see it, okay? Because I don't necessarily expect anybody to give it to me the way that I see it, but like, I'm just gonna put it out there. I'm just gonna put it out there like this. Okay, here's a good way to express it. This is how I see trucking. This is how I see trucking. And this is what makes this whole thing unique. And this is what makes this whole program ungoogleable. It's not something you can Google. It's not something that you're going to see on YouTube. It's not a list of tips. You can get tips how to back up the truck and how to deal with the dispatcher when you're new and how to get out and look. And you can get all that stuff on any YouTube video. So like, it didn't make sense at all for me to put together a product that like you could just go and Google it and find what I have on there. And again, all of the information is out. Ain't no new information out. So if you think about that's difficult, right? Like, you gonna put together a product that it don't exist, no remnants of it really exist. Yes, absolutely. Right. So here we go. I'm talking to my wife the other day, right? And any of you guys have a spouse or a girlfriend or a boyfriend, you'll identify with this. I'm telling you this so you'll it's about pattern recognition. Okay, I've said that before. Me and my wife were talking. My wife says something. I can't remember exactly what she said right now, but she said something. I
I won't say I didn't understand what she said. I thought I understood what she said. I thought I grasped whole to what she was saying. And I responded to what I felt like she said. It started an argument. It started an argument. And I'm willing to take the blame for this because my wife has done it as well. She's done this before, right? Like I'm saying, I say something to her and she thinks she understood what I said and she'll respond to what she thinks I said and it'll start an argument that really didn't need to start for no reason at all. It's just lack of communication. I know you guys, if I was in a room with y'all right now, I would say raise your hand if you have been through that. And I know anybody on here would probably raise their hand on that, right? So you would have to agree that example is a common confusion point in a relationship, like responding to an individual based on what you think they said, as opposed to getting clarity on what they actually said before you formulate your response. As far as I'm concerned, again, we can't go back and forth, but as far as I'm concerned, that is absolutely something that I would call a common confusion point in relationships, meaning the majority of people in a relationship have had that situation happen. Yeah, man, my wife said something to me. And I thought I understood what she said, or I thought I understood what she meant. I responded to it. Little did I know, I didn't understand what she meant, or she didn't mean it the way that she said it, or she didn't mean what she said, and there was a lack of communication. And in hindsight, if we would have just clarified with each other what the other one was saying before we responded, it wouldn't have been a problem. That is what I call a confusion point. That's a point in a circumstance where it can go either way. Respond to it the right way, and you can keep things where they need to be. Accident avoided, right? Respond to that situation the wrong way, and you can be in a ditch quick, right? That's what I call a confusion point, and that is the effect of a confusion point. Like you don't even know that you're in it when you're in it. You don't even know, and before you know, you've acted, and before you know, you've acted in a way that it's like, dang, I kind of wish I could do that all over again. I have identified 7 confusion points in trucking that fit that exact same parameter that I just now brought up in relationships. Like they affect the majority of truck drivers, just like that scenario that I just brought up affects the majority of couples. These 7 confusion points that I've identified. And again, we're getting into proprietary space here, family. Now we're getting into what can't be Googled because it only exists in my mind. Okay. It only exists in my mind. Right. So, but I've identified 7 of these confusion points in trucking that trip up the average driver. The average driver doesn't know that they're at these confusion points. They don't even know when they're at the point of their trucking journey where they need to slow down, where it's like, okay, it can either go left or right here, right? And new drivers all the time, senior drivers as well, veteran drivers as well, make decisions, one, that can lock them in or stifle opportunity in the future, 2, without even understanding the gravity of the decision that they are making, and 3, a lot of times they're making these decisions under pressure, not necessarily under pressure that anybody is putting them under, but under pressure that they might be under themselves. I need to hurry up and get to work. People are telling me I need to just take a job. I feel like I just need to take something. I'm new, so I just need to get my foot in the door and I'll figure it out down the road, right? So again, I've identified 7 of these confusion points in trucking that trip up most truck drivers. Okay. So I want y'all to understand in the coming weeks, as y'all see more and more of this is not, remember, I keep saying I can't fix everything. This is not about fixing every problem in trucking. Okay. There's a lot of problems in trucking that don't necessarily lead to high turnover, that don't necessarily lead to misaligned expectations from new drivers. Those are the problems that I'm focusing on fixing. I'm focusing on fixing the problems that can help a driver get aligned so that they won't have such a shock when they come into the profession. So keep that in mind as you're seeing this over the next few weeks. Like, I'm again, the objective is to address what trips a driver up. So like everything that could go wrong in a driver's career ain't gonna be in there, but the major stuff that trips drivers up are gonna be in there. Now, I'm gonna give you just a few. I don't know, I might give you all of the decision points tonight, but I'm gonna give you just a few, because the decision points, knowing them is not the big deal. It's knowing how to approach those decision points, right? Knowing that, let me slow this down. Knowing that when you and your spouse are communicating and he or she says something and you don't clarify it, or you have the opportunity to either clarify it or not before you respond, again, knowing that that's a potential landmine, situation is only half the battle. Like, okay, I know. Okay, I'm at that situation right now. Let me, because this can go left or right. So hold on. Like, here's what that does. Knowing you're at that confusion point, it gives you pause. It causes you to slow down. That's the first thing you got to understand. Okay. We talked earlier about people making decisions under pressure. In trucking, mistakes and confusion cost money. So again, these confusion points that I've identified, these are absolutely the points in your career that you need to slow down. This is one of those points that you got to slow down. So not only is knowing when you're at that confusion point and it's important to slow down, that's important, but also knowing how to approach that confusion point, knowing how to deal with the spouse that, darn, okay, at this point, I either got a choice to clarify or not, or she either got a choice to clarify or not, right? Like, knowing how to approach it once you're in that situation. Recognizing the situation is one, and then knowing how to approach the situation is two. And it's the same exact thing with these 7 confusion points that I've identified in trucking. Now, this should seem simple. This should seem simple, right? It should make sense to you that there's a lot of people that have a lot of that the process of getting started in the profession is confusing. That's a confusion point. The early stuff, the just getting started. So, right, like, look at it like this. You're going to be at junctures in trucking. You're going to have times in trucking that you're supposed to be at a certain spot, but you don't know how to approach it. And then you're going to have other times in trucking, and family, I'm talking about whether you're in the truck or whether you're dealing with trucking, or actually whether you're dealing with life. I'm kind of talking about all of that. But then you're going to have other times when you're not sure if you're even supposed to be at a certain place. You're not even sure if you're supposed to engage with a certain thing. This is the entering the industry junction. Like, I'm still trying to feel out whether I even should be here. I'm still trying to feel it out from that perspective. And it's very confusing, right? Like, choose a school that can't help you with job placement, and you need job placement. Now you get out of school and you're on your own as far as finding a job, but you needed job placement, right? A funding source. This is another entering the industry decision that every new driver gonna have to make. How they're gonna fund their CDL training. There's a lot of people that come into trucking, and because they don't understand trade-offs, They think free CDL school is really free. And they end up getting locked into a contract that they thought they was like, well, I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out after I get into it. I just need to get my foot in the door. That's that entering the industry energy. That's that getting started energy. I just need to get my foot in the door and I'll figure out the rest on the way. I'll figure out the rest when I get there. That attitude in trucking, I just need to get there and I'll figure out the rest. That's how you end up on the Tuesday evening news. That's how you end up on the Wednesday night news. Talking about I'll figure it out after I get there with no plan whatsoever. This is not the place to do that. Mistakes in trucking, confusion in trucking costs money, costs time, costs frustration. Don't forget that. Mistakes in trucking ain't cheap. Okay? So I guess it depends on how long you feel like your runway is, right? So, but that's the first confusion point. That's the first point in trucking that every single truck driver that comes through, they all have to enter the industry. And the majority of them, it's very confusing for them right there. And a lot of them, under pressure, end up evaluating the decision the wrong way. They're not doing anything wrong. It's just that they don't know what's at stake there. They don't know that they're at a confusion point. They don't know that they're at a point that they need to slow down and evaluate their options carefully. They just don't know. Again, their attitude is, I'll just figure it out. I just need to get my foot in the door, right? So again, like knowing the confusion point or the juncture is only one side of it. The other side of it is understanding how to approach that juncture. Now, I keep saying that the entering the industry energy, but I want you to understand something, that when you go from being a company driver to being a lease operator, aren't you entering a new industry? Don't matter that you've been driving for 3 years. Aren't you entering a new industry? Don't you still walk through that juncture? At first, you still feeling like, do I need to be here? Do I even need to be here? I was driving in the road the other day, family. Again, what I'm talking to y'all about is facts in I meant to say it's not facts. It's contextually correct if you're a truck driver, but it also translates to outside of the truck as well. Don't get it twisted for 1 second, okay? I'm driving in my truck. I'm in my truck the other day. You guys will identify with this. I'm on the way to a job site. I haul precast pipe. So we're going into construction sites, and they got construction sites all over the place. And I pass another job thinking that it's the job that I'm supposed to go to. I pass that job, and then I'm passing a job, but I'm like, I don't know if this is the job I'm supposed to be at. My GPS is telling me a little bit further up the road, but we had that happen all the time. The GPS tell you go here, but it's, 3 miles, 5 miles further than the road or whatever, right? So I see the job site, and I'm like, I don't know if this is the job site or not. I got that feeling of, I don't know if I'm supposed to be in here or not, right? So it's like, okay, let me make sure I approach this the right way. So again, this will seem simple because I'm talking about in the truck, but I'm not just talking about in the truck. Okay. So I stopped the truck in the middle of the road. I didn't care that there was cars behind me. I'm not about to pull up in this place, right? And then waste time getting turned around and all that. So I got to find out that they're not the right place because I'm not 100% sure. I walk over to the guy. I'm like, hey, is this the right facility? I show him the paperwork. He's like, nah, that place down the road a little bit. Cool, no problem. I went back, got back in my truck, and I was going down the road. Problem avoided. Time saved, because I would have wasted a lot of time had I what I'm talking about now is that emotion of, am I supposed to be here? When you feel that way, how can I put it? When you feel that way, you instinctively know you need to slow down. This is okay, I got to slow down right here. Right? No difference than if I'm not sure if this is the facility that I'm supposed to be at, I know I got to slow down. I'm not going to hit 20 miles. I'm not going to go into the facility like I know I'm supposed to be there. My approach is going to change because I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be there or not. Right? So all I'm talking about here is the emotion that you feel at this juncture. How do you know when you're dealing with this juncture? You're probably feeling that emotion. I don't even know if I'm supposed to be here or not. That's that first time energy. That's that I'm new. I ain't never been. I don't know. All right. That's that energy. Right. But again, this is something that every truck driver got to deal with. Every truck driver got to figure out how to navigate that entering the industry, getting started confusion point. And there's a way to evaluate it. There's a way to evaluate that. I'd like to hear some of you guys' suggestions as far as that. Like, what would you say is the right way to evaluate whether you should be in this profession or not? Or what is the right way to evaluate a funding option? Right? What's the right way to evaluate that? If you guys feel like putting that in the comments. Here's another common confusion point that trips up many truck drivers. Every truck driver comes through this. Some make it through. A lot of them don't. Choosing your first company. This is another big confusion point for people. This is another point that a lot of truck drivers don't make it through, or they choose here and like the decision is reversible because it's not like it's forever, right? But again, some people just don't make it through that, right? They just don't make it through that because they chose the wrong first company. And I won't say it's because they chose the wrong first company. As a new person, it's hard to just choose the right first company. That is not easy. I won't say it's hard, but I will say that's not necessarily easy. But again, family, what we're talking about is being able to evaluate. So what I wanted to address here and how you approach this juncture is giving a student, somebody that's going through my new driver blueprint, the tools that they need to be able to evaluate a company, to be able to evaluate the opportunity that they're being offered. Because a lot of the times now, here's what's happening. Drivers are showing up in comments on random YouTuber videos saying, hey, who's hiring over there where you are? That's what a lot of drivers are doing, man. That's what a lot of drivers are doing. Hey, you know anybody that's hiring? Right? I want to go OTR. Where can I go to get a job? Like the most random questions. Like, I can't answer that if I wanted to. Right? I can't answer that if I wanted to, right? So at this juncture, what I wanted to do, being that everybody comes through this juncture, and this is confusing for a lot of people, I wanted to give students the tools to be able to evaluate a job opportunity on their own without having to rely on a stranger on YouTube to point you in the right direction. Because it's crazy, again, I'm not necessarily talking about a new person here, but I can't tell you how many times I've done a video where I don't know, I'm talking about owner operator numbers. And I'll have somebody come on, and I don't want to disrespect people, man, but I'll have somebody come on and they're like, hey, those are good numbers you're showing. I need to look at becoming an owner operator. Or they're like, hey, those numbers suck. I was thinking about being an owner operator, but I wouldn't want to be an owner operator. I don't want to be an owner operator no more with numbers like that. It's almost like a person I'm sure they're not, but it's almost like based on what they see from another person, they make their decision. Like, Dad, you ain't doing good over there, so I ain't gonna go. Or, man, you doing good over there, so can I come? Like, you're not supposed to be that reliant on somebody else. What works for somebody else don't necessarily work for you. Again, we're going back to misalignment of expectations. We're going back to listening to the noise. We're going back to that because that's where that comes from. I heard over here, right? But what new people need is the tools to help them be able to a basic tool, not nothing complex. We can't fix every problem, but something to help them be able to decipher an opportunity that's being given to them. Sure, you are still going to have you're still going to have your circle of friends, your circle of buddies, your circle of truckers that you bounce ideas off of. You're still going to have conversations at the truck stops. You're still going to talk to other truck drivers. You're still going to do all of that stuff, right? But as a new person with veteran level perspective and with veteran level ability to evaluate, now as a new person, you show up to those conversations. You show up to those interviews with those jobs on better footing. Now you show up asking better questions because why? You're more aware of what is at stake at whatever particular juncture that you're dealing with. Right now, we're talking about choosing a first company, right? So it's about understanding what's at stake. That's what it's about. It's about understanding what you're really choosing at this juncture, right? So I have actually created a map as well, a map to map all 7 of these junctures out. And it's not a map per se, like telling you which direction to go in, but it's a map that lays out each one of these 7 confusion points that all drivers go through, that many drivers get tripped up on. And it also tells you on this map what you as the driver need to watch out for at each one of these confusion points. Because again, it's not just about knowing that you're at a point that you need to slow down. That's half the battle. It's also about the approach, what to do, right? Another confusion point that I've identified in trucking that trips a lot of truck drivers up. Again, family, I want you to understand. I'm not trying to draw this out no more than I need to, but I want you to understand. I'm describing the trucking landscape to you here, but I'm not describing it the same way that regular YouTube videos describe it, right? Man, trucking is tough and they're going to run you to death. And you got to watch out for the Russians in Chicago. The landscape that I'm laying out for you is not something that you're going to be able to Google. But it absolutely is it's going to show you where you need to focus your attention at. That's why I designed it this way. Like, it's a lot of things you could be looking at in trucking. There's a lot of things you need to pay attention to, a lot of stuff you need to know. These things right here is what trips a lot of drivers up. That's the only reason why I'm putting so much emphasis on this, because again, understanding this gives you an idea of where to focus your attention. You can be focused on a lot of stuff in trucking. You're going to need to be focused on a lot of stuff in trucking, particularly as a new person, right? But like, what are the things that can limit opportunities in the future? You need to know those. What are the decisions that you might be making now that may not be reversible? What are the decisions that you make? What are the things that's happening now that's going to follow you, that's going to stay with you? Like, all things in trucking don't carry the same weight, but some things stay with you, longer than others, right? We got all kind of stuff dealing with our record and our reputation, right? And like, not understanding that stuff, again, This is how people make decisions without understanding the gravity of the decision that they're making. And then down the road, they wonder why they feel stuck. Let me check out a few of these comments. I can get the flowing, y'all. Yeah, if y'all didn't know, Q Love is the man. If y'all didn't know that. Yeah. Slow down, think. What is a good fit for my family and for excuse me, fit from my family and me. Don't rush. Think it through. Do your research. Great advice, Trucker Steve, CDL instructor. That's good. See, this right here is a good combination, right? Because you need the tactical stuff too. Like, I don't want to make it sound like the tactical stuff is not important. I don't want to make it sound like, that stuff is not important. But again, as I was creating this new driver blueprint, again, I wanted to be really careful about giving people something proprietary. Okay. I didn't want to just give them something that they watch and it's like, yeah, this is just like all the other trucking videos on. It's just like a compilation of all of that stuff together, like a bigger tip list, right? And then, like I said, man, so much tactical, what's the word I'm looking for? So much tactical guidance in trucking outdates so quick because the landscape changes so quickly. Like I said, I've got videos on my channel right now that are outdated because the landscape has changed, right? Like, how many trucking companies? Let me Google this real quick. Watch this. Watch this. How many trucking companies closed in 2025? Let me do it another way. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. How many trucking companies closed in 2025? Let's see what he say. Seriously?
For the trucking industry, extending the Great Freight Recession into its third year. While there isn't one single final number for total closures yet, the data from various tracking agencies paints a stark picture of a massive capacity purge. Here is the breakdown of the closures and exits based on 2025 industry reports. The scale of closures. Weekly attrition. In early 2025, it was estimated that over 1,500 trucking companies were shutting down every single week. Peak months. April 2025 saw a massive spike, with 7,474 trucking businesses exiting the market in that month alone. the highest monthly total in over a year. Net capacity. While thousands exited, new entrants still joined. However, by
Okay.
Q3 2025,
Okay. I'm just trying to make a point. I just want y'all to hear. That's how many trucking companies closed up in 2025. Right? So as I was making this new driver blueprint, it's like, again, going back to tactical advice. Okay, this is how you do it. You do it this way. This is where you need to go. You should go there, right? Man. Like, I don't know. Like I said, I got videos right now that are outdated. So I'm real careful about that, right? Because again, the trucking landscape changes so fast, you know. Trucking companies close up, right? Lanes that are good this year might not be good next year. Y'all do know that, right? Y'all do know that, right? So I guess, like I said, I'm making the point that what might be good advice this year might not be good advice next year. Okay. And again, nobody's doing anything wrong. It's just that things change in the industry so rapidly. I'm gonna cover one more of these decision points, confusion points that all truck drivers have to deal with, that a lot of them get tripped up on. Here's another one. This is a big one. How you interpret pay. That's a big one, right? A lot of truck drivers get caught up on this one. A lot of truck drivers think it's about chasing a high CPM. A lot of truck drivers don't understand that pay is about more than the gross number. A lot of new truck drivers don't understand that. I know I didn't as a new truck driver. I didn't understand that. All right. I remember telling my pop and my brother, man, I want my truck to gross $5,000 a week. I remember telling them that before I got my own truck. And then I got my own truck, and I had some weeks that I grossed 5,000. But I had some weeks that I had like high expenses as well. I realized then, I'm like, it ain't all like what's the benefit in grossing 5,000 if I can only keep half of it? Like, what's the benefit, right? Like, I would rather gross 3,000 and keep 2,500. I'd rather do that, right? How you interpret pay is huge. The companies that are offering you this pay, they see the dollar signs in your eyes. They see the naivete in your eyes. They see the gullibility in you, right? But again, we can't fix everything. We can't, it's hard to give you knowledge that you don't have as a new person. Nothing replaces real world experience. But again, going back to that argument that I had with my wife, if I had to do it all over again, when she said what she said to me, I wouldn't have just formulated my response, which started an argument. I would have clarified what she was saying first. And the reason I would have done that is because I know if I'd had to do it all over again, okay, I need to slow down at this point right here. Don't speed through this point right here. Don't just run through here, because that's how you get on the other side of this, and it didn't come out where you want to, and now you feel stuck. In a relationship, you're stuck in an argument. In the trucking profession, you might be stuck in some other predicament. It's the same thing, though. I'm bringing that example up because that's an example that everybody can relate to. You just so what I'm doing here is I'm describing something that if the examples that I'm giving you relate, I'm describing something that you kind of already subconsciously and unconsciously agree with. You just never been able to put words to it. I'm kind of describing something that you already know exists. You just have never been able to put words to it, right? So this juncture of interpreting pay, real pay, because again, the pay in trucking is more than just the gross pay, right? Like it's home time. It might be driving in dangerous situations, right? It might be all kind of stuff that you got to do to get that pay. And I don't want to make it, when I say this, I don't want to make it sound like there aren't companies out here that are just genuinely that are like genuinely interested in just paying their drivers good. I don't want to make it sound like there aren't companies out here that are like that, because there absolutely are. But I mean, like, I'm just saying, generally speaking, pay is definitely about more than that gross number, right? But if you don't know that, you hear the gross number and it's like, ooh, ooh. Well, they might work me a little bit harder for that number, but I can deal with it. I can be away from my family a little bit for that number. I can deal with that, right? But like maybe leaving things up to chance, maybe not asking the questions that need to be asked, maybe not clarifying what needs to be clarified, right? So these decision points that I'm laying out, again, these are the points that trip up many drivers. I can't give you knowledge that you don't have. Nothing replaces real world knowledge. But if you know that you're at a confusion point, you know to slow down. You know to slow down now anyway. You already know that without me pointing this out to you. But again, new people every single day rush into decisions under pressure. Like it happens all the time, right? It happens all the time. So, but that's just, again, a lack of understanding of the terrain, a lack of understanding of what's actually happening at that point. That's what these decision points are all about. And I've got 7 of them. Not only have I outlined the 7 decision points, the 7 confusion points that you're going to have to deal with as a new truck driver. Not only have I outlined that, again, you're going to have to deal with a lot of other stuff as a truck driver. I don't want to make it sound like everything fits into these 7. These are the 7 that trip up most drivers. This encompasses most drivers that don't make it through that first year period. Their story is probably somewhere in one of these 7 confusion points. They didn't know they were at a confusion point. They didn't know to evaluate it the right way. They made a decision under pressure that was irreversible. And that's another thing. That's one of the tools that is available to you in my new driver blueprint. Because again, it's not just about knowing when you're at the confusion point. It's about having the mental tools to help you approach it the right way, so that you can make sure you evaluate what really matters. Again, this whole thing is about helping you keep your attention and your focus on what really matters. Okay, that's what this whole thing is about. But yeah, there's tools in here as well that you'll have access to, that students will have access to help them approach each one of these junctures intentionally, as opposed to like, man, I don't know how I got here, right? But to approach these junctures intentionally and with clarity, I'll say. I was trying to say it another way. But intentionality is another thing I haven't mentioned a whole lot about here tonight. Because a lot of this has to do with your personal preferences. Can I get an amen on that one? Right? It ain't about doing trucking how everybody else is doing it. It's about doing it how you want to do it. So again, like I'm not saying that every option will be available to you when you get in to trucking, but it is about, okay, what is it that I'm trying to get out of this? Like, what is it that's in my best interest? And how does this job that I'm looking at taking line up against that? Again, you might have to, I'm not saying that you're not going to have to take jobs that you might not want to take, and that you're not going to have to do work that you might not want to do. I'm saying if you make a decision, it should be intentional. I'm saying if you're going down a path in this profession, it should be intentional. It shouldn't be accidental. You shouldn't be going down a path that you inherited from somebody else. You shouldn't be going down a path that somebody else pointed you down, but you don't really know whether it's best for you. That's called outsourcing your own judgment to somebody else. And you can't, all you can do is cross your fingers and hope for the best when you take that path. So part of what I've got built into this course as well is to help you navigate this industry intentionally. Okay? That's what it's about. Again, I don't want to make it sound like, hey, you're gonna be able to become a trucker and get it your way. It's not about that. It's about, like, am I aware of the decisions that I'm making? Am I aware of the decision? Can I explain the decision I just made? Right? A lot of the times we, like I said, because of how we move, we make these decisions under pressure, under the wrong type of pressure. And because of that, we don't evaluate properly. So again, here I've got the list of confusion points, and I've got, again, the tools that'll be available to you in the course as well. This is not the course, it's just my notes, by the way. God damn, he got his whole course on a clipboard. No. But yeah, you get access to the tools as well. That's going to help you. That's going to help you navigate these junctures in trucking intentionally and with clarity. Okay. And again, the whole goal is to help drivers align, get their expectations aligned. The whole point is to put something out in the industry that can actually help the industry with the problem. Driver turnover is an industry problem. Okay, that's an industry problem. It's not just a truck driver problem. That's an industry problem. All right. Let me read through a few of these comments real quick. Let that sink in a bit, because the lint roller doesn't pick up all lint. You gotta love Q Love, family. You gotta love Q Love. I got other people like that on the channel that pop into these live streams as well. Definitely, but like you gotta love people like that. Again, remember what I said at the beginning? I don't know if Q Love was here or not, but I said at the beginning, in a perfect world, I would do these lives I would do it on Zoom, and I would broadcast it through YouTube. And all of us, not all of us, but those that deserve to be, we would all be in the Zoom together. And the people on YouTube would be listening, and they could comment in the chats, but all in the Zoom room, we could actually see each other and talk instead of just chat. Not that we want to sit there and look at each other, but it's really just about, like, this right here feels one way. I'm talking and all y'all can do is chat back to me. I want to talk back and forth to y'all. I'd love to have a conversation with Q Love and some of you other guys as well. Some of y'all other drivers as well. Kenny Gaines, glad to have you here. Glad to have you here. That's good. You got a mentor. That page Aunt Dad. Yeah, Trucker Steve, CDL instructor. The landscape is always changing. Ayo Jojo 15. So what are 3 things you would change about trucking to improve it? That's a good question. I don't know if I ever thought about it that way, or not. The main thing that I think needs improving in trucking overall is it's too confusing. It's too damn confusing. That's the main thing that I feel about trucking. And it's coming from somebody that's been around trucks. I've been around trucks my whole life. Like I said, my whole family's in trucking. My father was a career truck driver. I've been in trucking 10 years and I've been an owner operator for 5 years. Trucking is too confusing. It's a lot of choices to make. It's a lot of decisions to make. It's a lot of things you got to know. It's a lot of things you got to learn. You need luck on your side. You need grace on your side. I ain't saying. I'm just saying, man. Like trucking is living. Trucking is breathing, and trucking is moving. It's a lot of different moving pieces. Trucking is big enough where trucking is big enough where you could be a veteran in this profession. You could be in this profession for 30 years and not know some of the most basic stuff. You could be in this profession for 30 years, man, and like not know nothing about nothing other than what you do. And I don't know if y'all understand what I mean by that. Like I know about in trucking what I do. Right? I don't know nothing about Landstar. I don't know nothing about none of that stuff. I don't know nothing about Swift. I don't know nothing about JB Hunt. I don't know nothing about being a lease operator. I don't know nothing about none of that stuff. I don't need to know none of that stuff. It don't pertain to what I do and how I do it. I know exactly how to do what I'm doing. That's why I'm still out here. That's what I need to know. I don't need to know the rest of the stuff, right? Being that I'm a YouTuber, I'm forced into other areas of learning about things that don't directly impact how I run. That's just because I'm on YouTube and I want to like have an understanding of what I'm gonna talk about before I'm gonna talk about it, especially if it's a lane that I'm not in. But I don't know nothing about all of that stuff, man. So like you could be in trucking for a long time and not know anything about something. Like that's how diverse the industry is, right? So yeah, it's a big industry. Yeah, and I would say it's confusing. So I don't know if I can give you 3 things that I would change, but that one thing, yeah, confusing. I want to say overregulated. I want to say that too, right? But I can't blame them for that. I can't blame them for the amount of regulation that's in trucking. I don't know if I can blame them for that. Like it's again, it's a big industry. It's a big industry, One thing you gotta keep in mind. One thing you gotta think. Here's a veteran level perspective. Here's something that senior drivers, veteran drivers do that they don't even know that they do. But this is that veteran perspective. This is an example right here. Okay. And this is actually one of the tools that you get in my new driver blueprint. By the way, that is pinned as a pinned comment, right? If you're hearing this and you want to learn more, you want to be updated when I launch, add yourself to the list. Okay. Just add yourself to the list. It's the best way for me to stay in touch with the people that want to know more, right? Did we talk about this? Did we talk about what I'm about to talk about? I don't know. We talked about a lot of stuff so far. Here's one thing we haven't talked about is reversibility. Reversibility. So, y'all remember I was telling y'all a few minutes ago, might have been an hour ago now. Been on here for a while. It might have been an hour ago now. The other day I was driving, I was on the way to a job site, and I got to a job site before my job site, but it looked the same. And that's when I was telling you that I wasn't sure if I was supposed to be there or not. Right. So like, hey, I'm not gonna just pull up in there. Let me hop out and see, because I don't want to waste that time. Right. So like that's that energy of I don't even know if I'm supposed to be here or not. But later on, but as I went down the road and I got to my job site, the one that I was supposed to be at, the same day, I get to the job site. Now I pull up to the job site and I'm looking, but I'm not pulling in. I'm looking, but I'm not pulling in. What I'm looking for is as anybody that's truck driver know, like you need to be checking these spots out before you pull in them, right? Again, I've mentioned this already, that attitude of I'll figure it out when I get there. Like that'll mess you up if you're talking about bringing that attitude into a truck parking lot. Same attitude showing up in different places. I'm just connecting patterns for y'all, that's all. But before I go in this job site, right, now I'm at the right job site. So guess what? My attitude is now not, am I supposed to be here? Now my attitude is, I know I'm supposed to be here. I know I'm at the right job site, but I need to make sure I go in here the right way. I need to make sure I got a way out before I go in. Any truck driver will tell you that. That's what get out and look is all about. You want to make sure you got a way out before you go in. I call that reversibility. That's what I call that. Now, in the truck, we know, yeah, you got to be thinking that way. Don't pull into nothing that you ain't sure if you can get out of. But family, I've been telling y'all this whole time, we ain't just talking about truck drivers, and we're not just talking about trucking. Like, we talking about life as well, okay? But think about that one. Man, what if I just put my reversibility lens on anytime I'm about to sign something, or anytime I feel like I'm about to get locked into something? What if I ask myself before I go into it, what if I get into this and if it goes sideways, can I get out? Ain't that the same question that a truck driver asking themselves before they pull into a tight spot, before they pull into a tight lot? Can I get out of here? Aren't they doing that? Right? Like you're doing that behind the wheel. But again, that same logic can stop you when it's most important. When it's most important. Now, as I'm sitting outside the job site the other week, and I'm looking around and I'm like, let me make sure I can get out before I go in. Once I realize, oh, snap, you know what? It is a way out if I get in there the wrong way. Now I'm not hesitant about going in the job site no more. I know I'm speaking in real simple terms, family, but I'm y'all got to understand what the gist of what I'm trying to share with you here. Now I can proceed. The other job site that I stopped at that I wasn't sure if it was my job site, my mindset was, I'm not sure if I'm even supposed to be here. Now I know I'm at the job site, the right job site, but it's like, let me make sure I approach it the right way. Let me make sure that I can get out before I go in. Let me make sure that if I get in and things go sideways, I got a way to get out. Once I ran that scenario through that lens, through that filter of reversibility, can I get out? Once I realized, oh, I can get out easily if I get in here and get in here the wrong way, all of the hesitation went away. All of the hesitation went away. Now I can go ahead and move. Whereas in another scenario, I might be approaching the same situation, but not see a way out. Am I gonna go in that driveway, in that parking spot, in that lot the same exact way? No, I'm gonna go in with a whole lot more what? Caution. Because I know it's not a way out once I get in. Family, this is the approach. If you're dealing with a situation in trucking that you know it ain't no way out once you get in, you're gonna naturally approach it with a whole lot more what? Caution. But if you know you're approaching a situation where the consequences are easily reversible, no big deal. I can go ahead and proceed. I ain't got to be as cautious. I ain't got to be as hesitant. I can go ahead and proceed because I know I can get out if I get in and things go sideways. Again, I want you to think to yourself. I could give you the scenarios, but I want you to think to yourself. How many different scenarios that type of thinking could help you out with? Like, fam, I hope y'all understand the gravity, because again, you can't get what I'm giving y'all right now in this live stream on no other YouTube video. No other trucking people are talking about this. They telling you how to drive the truck. They telling you how to back up. They telling you how to get out and look. They telling you how to do all of this tactical stuff. You need that. You need that. But as I was putting this course together, I refused to just give you a conglomeration of all of that. That wouldn't have made no sense at all. I wanted to give you a system. I wanted to give you an operating framework. That's what I was trying to give you. I wanted to give you something much more durable than a list of tips or a list of the top 5 companies that new drivers need to check out in 2026. I wanted to give you something that was going to stay with you longer than that, right? So, yeah, I call that reversibility. And again, that's something that I go over in the course. How to apply that reversibility lens to stop yourself when it's most important, to slow you down when it's most important. Again, in trucking, mistakes and confusion cost money, time, and frustration. So somebody asked me, how much is the course? How much is the orientation going to cost? I have a price in mind, but I'm not going to share it with y'all yet. But I know that like get saved from one bad contract, right? Like get saved from one mistake. Pick up one piece of veteran level perspective that a veteran had to go out and sweat and bleed to get, that a veteran had to go out and make mistakes to get. Like what I'm sharing with you here, I want to make sure you understand it. Make sure you don't misinterpret it. Again, I've been around trucks my whole life. This is a lifetime of trucking perspective that I'm sharing with you. It's a lifetime of trucking perspective. And again, senior drivers, veteran drivers, they have to sweat and bleed to get the perspective, to understand the approach, to understand what the confusion points are. And even senior drivers don't even understand what the confusion points are. They just know that when they're at a point that they need to slow down. Veteran people know that, but veteran people don't necessarily know, man. Veteran people don't understand the skill versus comfort trade-off. Veteran people don't know that, right? I know y'all don't know it either because I ain't went over it. But like everything in trucking is a trade-off. Everything in trucking is a trade-off. Many people don't know that, right? Again, you see the top line number and you don't ask yourself, what's trade-off? What's the trade-off, right? Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited about this. I'm gonna be obviously I'm gonna be sharing some more insight into the course. And I'm gonna be picking up on some more of y'all's input. Again, I'd be foolish to make a product for truck drivers and not get the input of truck drivers. You know what I mean? I'd be foolish. I don't care how unique I think I'd look at stuff, right? That'd be stupid. So yeah, I'm gonna be doing more of these. Just be on the lookout. Again, if you want to know more, you want to keep up with when I actually launch the new driver blueprint, make sure you add yourself to the wait list. I won't be emailing you for no reason, but you will get, updates as far as what's going on behind the scene. You'll get a first look. You'll get a chance to take a first look. You might even get a chance at a founder's discount, because that's kind of how I'm leaning towards launching it. Because there is still stuff that I need to that I want to add to it. I won't say that I need to add to it, that I want to put in there. Okay. I want to make sure that I've got the basics in there. That's where I want to start off at. But from there, the orientation will continue to grow. So y'all seem to enjoy these lives, and as and how the chat kind of rolls, like exchanging information back and forth. I wanna start a group. I want to start my inner circle, something to that effect. I feel like having access to a network in trucking is huge as well. Like, that was a huge benefit for me, is having access to a network of people in trucking that could point me into the right direction. Right? They know me, they know my goals, so like, I'm not gonna outsource my judgment to anybody. But when somebody from my inner circle refers me to so I take those referrals seriously, because they know my situation, and I feel like if they're referring me somewhere, it's for a particular reason, right? So, all right, family, be on the lookout for the next live stream. Be on the lookout for the next YouTube video, for the next regular video. Be on the lookout for the launch of the new driver blueprint. Reach out to me. Feel free to reach out to me if you like. Again, if you got input on this, you can email me. Right? If we can do it through email, fine. If we need to talk, maybe we can work that out as well on a phone call, right? But if you got a perspective, if you got some input, I'd love to hear it. I can't guarantee that I'm gonna take everybody's input, but I'd love to hear it. I'd definitely love to hear it. Like I said, what I wanted to give people in this product was something that they couldn't get on Google. I wanted to give them something unique. I wanted to give them a tool. We all truck drivers. We understand the importance of tools. Tools help us do hard jobs. Getting acclimated to trucking in your first year is hard. I got tools in my new driver blueprint to help you with that job. Tools that you can't get nowhere else. Nobody else is offering them. This is a very proprietary product, 100%. Right? So that's it for tonight, family. I appreciate all you guys coming on here. I appreciate all the names that I see repeatedly showing up. Q Love, I appreciate you, brother. And hopefully everybody, all of you guys in the comments, appreciate a person like Q Love or anybody else that's here in the audience or here on the channel or on another channel. Like give it up to the people that's trying to help you. Give it up to the people that's trying to help you, whether it be the creator, whether it be somebody else on another channel, whether it be somebody in the comments. Give it up to the people that's trying to help you. All right. I appreciate all y'all. I see y'all in the next video. Y'all be on the lookout. All right, I'm gonna keep on building this. And yeah, appreciate y'all.